Hello, we're continuing our discussion of the introduction to the upcoming course that Vistar is offering. My name is Ron Friedman, this is Victoria Friedman, and let's begin by talking about collective consciousness, which is so central to the way we work. You've noticed, I'm sure, on our website, if you've had a chance to go on it, that Vistar is described as a doorway to collective consciousness. What is collective consciousness? We're really talking about two words. The formal definition of collective consciousness is a field of consciousness that has qualities, an intelligence, a creativity that is beyond the sum of all the members in the particular group that is being talked about. Because of these different qualities, there's a huge interest in collective consciousness, a worldwide interest. It is felt by many people that because of the presence of this field and the ability to communicate that happens as a result of this field, that perhaps the practice of collective consciousness may actually be a way in which humanity can step into its future. It is nothing less than that. It is so important to practice this altered form of human relationship and human contact.
Yes, and this principle, one of the major principles that Vistar Foundation is based on, there are four more, this principle has been something that has unfolded in our awareness as we started to work, because we work with groups of people. And Ron and I are kind of a transitional group here because there is a leadership, but there is no charismatic guru figure type of leader, but there's guides. And this has become a collective experience that has unfolded in miraculous ways. So one of the other principles that we deal with in Vistar is that we have a unity of teachings. And that means that in the time that we've been going, in 15 years and the 25 years that Ron and I have been involved in this, a lot of different teachings have come into this field. So we've been very based in the Gurdjieff work, Rudolf Steiner's teachings, the entire non-dual standpoint, Kenneth Mills, and led us to Ramana Maharshi and Punjab. And all these have been incorporated. We are unifiers of these teachings. We look for similarities. We don't look for point of differences. And we have found there a great, great unity in these teachings that blesses everyone.
As a result, the third aspect, or the third principle of the way we work at Vistar is the fact that because we are together for this period of time, because it involves men and women, and because it involves contact, a partnership with the field of collective consciousness, new knowledge emerges. Shared knowledge, new knowledge, and it is an accelerator. This way of working together actually accelerates the emergence of new understanding and new knowledge. And so, for example, although we don't have time to talk about it now, one of the aspects that has emerged in great detail is about relationships, about male-female relationships in the present day.
And also, we do work with the ego and the mind, the personality we call it, in these meetings, at the Vistar meetings. And, you know, again, this field is so large, and having different people come and all input into this, we have run the gamut of what could go on with the ego, even though it seems quite limited. For example, I mean, you know, there is so much teaching about having a choice and being disciplined, which is all beautiful, being disciplined and working with the ego and trying to make efforts with that ego and putting it in its place and making the ego subservient to the self. And then, of course, we move on into the fact that we have to begin to accept our ego. You know, accept the ego because, you know, you can't possibly kill it. We don't want to kill it, we have to accept it. Then we move into another level here where we have to embrace the ego, you know, love what is. So now we're embracing the ego. So here we are doing all these things. The amazing thing is that we learn so much from what it is not, which is the ego. After all, we do not have to learn to be what we are. We do not have that as one of our basic principles. We do not have to learn that. So all we are doing is constantly seeing what it's not, putting it aside, and really having some fun with it.
As Victoria has mentioned, the fourth principle that we do, which is fundamental to the way we work at Vistar, is working with the ego. But this has a very large implication in our Western civilization, because on the one hand we had to develop the Western ego to individualize. On the other hand, we have to come out of the incredible self-centeredness that the ego brings with it. So the transformation of the ego, the utilization of what is positive in the ego, is very much an aspect of how we work. The fifth principle, the fifth basis of how we work at Vistar has to do with the expression of creativity. Creativity is essential to every human being. Each one of us has a deep soul need to express, to create in a way that is their own distinctive form. And in Vistar, we use drama, we use music, we use many facets, clay, in order to allow people to find their format for individual expression. It is actually, we believe, the experience of the creative act that brings people back again and again to come together as one and share in the creative process. And the great mystery behind it is, when we do this, then we are totally fulfilled as individuals while we're working in a group setting. And that's remarkable.
Yes, I guess as an individual artist, all my life, coming into this amazing field of collective creativity has been the most liberating thing. It has taken whatever creative force there was and exponentially changed it. Actually, it's been a leap of change to an infinite source of creativity. Even though, as an individual artist, that was there, it was always present. But this has just unleashed so much, and I've seen it in so many people who don't have that creativity, that this is a place that they can feel okay with it because it isn't personalized. It's part of a larger process. It's part of something much greater. And it's just a joy to be involved in it.
Those are our 5 basics, principles of the way we work at Vistar. These are essential to our way.
So see part 3 and it will tell you about the course in detail.